Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus, and this is Romesh Shivas. Please to subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates, and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders, and business heads. Today, we are trying to dive deep OKRs, the objectives and the key results. And we have two experts. Let me welcome Ms. Saloni Kaul. She is also OKR coach, and she is the founder and chief executive of Its People. Another eminent charity is Hima Bindu. She is General Manager, Human Resources South at Clove Dental. Saroni, first I would like to come to you, and if you can help us to understand that what is the OKR and what is the larger purpose of this OKR?
Thank you for having me on this show. So OKR, a very popular performance and goal setting framework, as we all know. I think the larger purpose of OKR is to help organizations really define what they want to achieve. And let's call them aspirational goals. And then once they have defined that, how are they going to track the key results? How are they going to measure the success of those key, goals that they want to go for? So that is how OKRs, stand for, and that is how it helps. If we talk about, defining or deep diving into objectives, they need to be very clear. They need to be very concise, and they need to be set in a way that it is giving the organization a direction in which the whole organization is heading. It's almost like telling them that this is where we want to be at, let's say, 12 months down the road. And it is somewhere also aligned to the vision that they have for themselves. And then talking about key results, they need to be, we've heard of SMART goals. So definitely they need to be specific, they need to be measurable, and they also need to indicate the way they are written. How is it that is going to be measured? So they should indicate the achievement of that objective that they have set. Mostly some major 5, 6 OKRs are, created at the top organizational level, which sets the tone, the direction in which the organization is heading.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is about the larger goal of the organization. Means this is my goal for the next 5 year, maybe that maybe for the next 3 year. Then cascading to the different departments and team, then to the individual. What I understood. Hima, what is your take on this?
Ms. Saloni said, yes, we have small pockets of objectives for each department, and we have OKRs for each department. So there will be a OKR for the company, and then it will be broken into the department wise, and then it comes as KPIs and KRAs. So all this follows from the OKRs itself. So the OKR plays a very vital role for the organization and the employees to build their own individual KPIs, individual KRS, and the team wise, and their goals also. So based on that, the whole entire goal has been gained by a goal will be set, and the goal have to be achieved by the whole team together. So this is why the main objective is like everybody have to work towards their goals. So they have broke that into OKRs, KPIs, and KRAs.
Typically, the organizational goals, once we understand what those OKRs are, they are then broken down into the next level. We call them, they could be business units, or these could be departmentals. And then from those departments would come maybe the team goals and then the individual OKRs. So while OKRs and goals are used interchangeably, they mean the same thing. It's just that the format in which they flow down makes it very precise. That what is the person on the ground? What is it that he is focusing on? And how is that rolling up to the organizational OKR? Right. So that's how alignment happens.
We will discuss also the alignment part. So first, the very important thing is that goal setting. That is very important. So once the goal is decided by the team, you can say by the leadership, then how to set the goals? What is that process?
Like I said, the goals have to be very clear. The objectives have to be very clear because everybody has to be on the same page. So there are some models that we use, and there is one model that is not my model, but I've heard about it. It's called the CAFE model. It starts with clarity. So clarity as to what is it that we want to achieve. And then comes alignment. So cascading of those top level OKRs to departments, teams, and then individual employees, thereby ensuring alignment from top to bottom. Then comes the focus with which we want to execute on those, because goal setting is just one part of the entire game. Finally,
Correct.
we need to get down to actioning it. So then the focus has to be very clear. What is it that employees are doing? What Where they should be focusing? And with that focus comes execution. So cafe is the way to be. Additionally, OKRs help us also in ensuring that there is transparency, because it's not that, what is happening at the top. Everybody knows that this is how we are going to, perform at the down, down to the, last level in the organization. Often we are, when we are communicating and or when we are consulting with organizations, there is a common saying that, the strategy with which, people are, creating an organizational objective, that clarity is never available to the person on the ground. But with OKRs, it becomes very, very apparent
Very
because it is
transparent.
well, yes,
It's
because it
very
is documented.
transparent, and also it'll give it encourage those people to have continuous learning and improvement. These OKRs actually main focus for the people is to learn and improve their skill sets also. So we not only goals that the organization will definitely being will achieve, but then the goal of training and giving the learning part and improving their the self improvement also will involve in the OKRs, and the use of technology and tools also they'll be having, and the leadership support we give. So everything put together, OKR process is like very actively taken by all the organizations as of right minute these days. And mostly people are focusing more on OKRs. And then previously, when I started my career, I used to see only KPRs, like KPR and KPIs. There was no OKR. So KPI help the individual to grow by themselves, but then and give the results. But when it comes to OKR, it's both together. You can grow along with the company, and company also supports you how to grow. The objective of this company is to bring in their employees, make them learn and learn the innovative ideas and bring in the innovative ideas in the system, and then grow along with the company. So this OKRs help each, like it's like vice versa. The company also help the employee, and employee also help the company to grow each other.
Absolutely. So KPI and OKR works together. That is fine. But okay, once the goal is set by the top leadership and then cascading to the department wise, maybe if that is HR department, then how do you use this OKR? How do you work on these goals?
As HR, we do have our own OKR to tell what is OKR for others. Right. Oh, I think Ms. Saloni will agree with me. Our own job is to, educate people on the OKR. First main point. So we first of all adapt the OKR for us, and then we'll try to, help people to adapt their OKR and then involve in the OKR, and take the support of leadership and how to achieve their goals, and all the action plan will be decided along with the team, with their team managers and the relevant people, and we'll ensure that everything, all the 360 degrees has been touched upon, and then we definitely encourage people in the learning side, and it also involves transparency and accountability of each person, and we ensure that the collaboration is like aligned and the OKR has been achieved. So this is the main part of HR, like they have to educate people and ensure that this has been taken.
What is your take on this, Saloni?
How does an OKR cascade? It can be any department, but let me just take an example of HR. So let's say there's an organizational goal that um, we want to make our we may want to increase our employer brand presence in the market. It's an OKR at the org level, at the company level. And because this is typically an HR OKR, it is going to translate into certain key results. Those key results could look like that we need to have a best in class hiring process. Why? Because probably this is one key result that will help us establish our brand, our presence in the market. Now, the kind of uh, experience the candidates go through will be crucial to enhancing this best in class recruiting hiring process, that we are hiring the best, we are attracting good people, and they are joining our organization. So a key result at the top level becomes an OKR at the department level. So now we have a department level OKR, which is, let's say, for HR, that we want to have a best in class hiring process, which is impacting upon our EVP. So employee value proposition is getting impacted. So this is how an OKR at org level gets broken down into the key results become objectives for departments. And now at a departmental level, probably let's say I'm the HOD of my HR department, I want to now want to divide this OKR into, let's say, 3 different key results. One is that I want to have a revamped hiring process. We are creating key results at now the departmental level. We pick up one key result at the department level, and that becomes an objective for now that employee in that department. So you can see that at the organization level, we had one OKR. At the departmental level, that same one OKR became 4 OKRs. And now 4 people in the department have been handed those broken down key results. And now each of those key results has become their objective. And to improve or to meet and deliver on that objective, now they're going to have smaller key results. And that is how, when we say that people on the ground, they are contributing to the larger goal, this is what we mean. That now a team of 5 people individually are contributing to those objectives which have been cascaded down, and each of them is working on very specific objectives, very specific key results. But when you roll it up, it all goes back to the company at the organizational OKR. So this is how the organizational OKR is actually broken down from org to department or BU to teams or to individuals directly.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think very beautifully you have explained when it comes to the OKR goals for the HR department. Based on this, how you're planning your future hiring. Based on this, how you're planning the future skills that would be needed for the training and other purposes. You have also discussed about the EVP, employer branding. So very beautifully, I think you have explained about this. Now, when it comes to the alignment part, so how we can ensure, because without the alignment, because organization goals means all the departments, all the other functional heads, they need to be aligned, and they can also cascade this to their individual team members. So that alignment is very important. How we can do that?
All right. So let's say there are 5 or 6 OKRs at the top level. Now, all of these OKRs with their respective key results are now aligned and allocated. They are assigned to different departments. Now, there will be some dependency between departments. So these departments, they pick up their own OKRs, they start creating, but they also have an engagement. They also meet to discuss what are the interdependencies between, let's say, sales and production. What are the interdependencies that HR has with many of its functional, other functional heads or departments, because each function wants to hire people, and all those OKRs are going to come to HR. So HR also has to now discuss and create and make sure that they are aligned. So throughout the process of alignment, it is not just vertical alignment. Like I said, vertically, you can just go, level wise. It is also horizontal alignment. You need to also align with your other departments for the OKRs to become very meaningful. And when you are setting up the OKRs, that is where the alignment is most important. Once the alignment, the understanding is set, people, both the departments or multiple departments are on the same page as far as one objective or one key result that is common to both of them is concerned, then we can proceed further. Similarly, when you look at alignment at the ground level, so that will be vertical. But when we want to talk about cross-functional alignment, then cross-functionally, the departments, the HODs, the managers, they have to become part of that team. One very nice and beautiful technique is to create champions, OKR champions. So if one champion is created within each department, then we have that one champion because it's a new thing. We create champions who are then promoting and making sure that if there are any discussions that are not completed or any expectations that have not been set, because we are not talking in the air, we are actually writing down everything. So the OKR champion actually promotes that, the visibility, the interaction, helping people to, come together, talk, talk it out, and then set. And usually, in smaller organizations, HR plays that role. But in larger organizations, the champion is the person who, actually does it. And you can have multiple champions within the organization depending upon the size and the width.
Yeah, absolutely. In larger organization, there's no much role of the HR in OKR. That is only limited to their department, how they take care about the talent. So, Hima, how do you see how the alignment, how it helps into the
Yeah.
employee engagement, and how it helps also, in KPI sometime. If your larger goal is set, then you can also set the individual goals. So, how does it help in this?
So how I worked in my companies where I worked is like first when we have these goals and OKR set in the top level, we try to have a proper training and onboarding on OKRs first. So the alignment with, as Saloni ma'am said, like, department wise and cross departmental, there should be alignment. In the same way, like, the continuous training and onboarding of OKR should be done. And then we will give continuous feedback to people, like feedback to team wise or individual feedbacks, and having a transparent communication, saying that where they stand in their OKRs, how much they have achieved their OKRs, all that. And then how they have, and aligning with, say, like marketing and sales work together, like, the marketing gives them the leads and sales will go. So how they are aligned, and then what are the OKRs and how they have to build in each other's relationship and work together. So all this we give them a training, like, department wise training, when we call even cross functioning training and all. And then the real time feedbacks, all this helps us in aligning them, and then get into this like how she mentioned OKR champions. We give them rewards and recognitions on OKRs, like which department has finished their OKRs and they got that achievement, that they have achieved their goals. So we have a quarterly and half yearly and yearly OKR winners. So like that, we have that alignment, and then we have that competition between the teams, saying that, people have to cascade your goals, and everybody understands, like, if the OKR has been achieved, the kind of incentives or what kind of rewards what they get is entirely a different kind of growth in the company. So this is how I used to work when I was working. And now also, like, we have introduced OKRs in my company, and then all are been educated, and even individual, like, the team lead set, we bring them differently, and we give them a proper training on that OKRs, how to get into OKRs, how to work, and how to align their work and all. So all these things, we give them a training, and then onboard them, and give them the feedbacks, and we'll tell them to be flexible, and understand and adapt and get involved in this OKRs, and aim to achieve their goals. So
Right,
this is how
right.
I was working.
Saloni, okay, once the goal is set, larger goal for the organization goal is set, it has been also, cascaded, it has been also after the alignment. The important point next, that is the tracking of result. That is very important. Is everything going on as per goal? Would you be able to achieve your goals on time or not? So how the tracking we can do, that process is also very important.
So the very first thing that to enable tracking is to ensure, like I said, you have a 12-month annual OKR. From annual, you need to bring it down to a quarterly OKR, because you can track for a period. So OKRs are famous for having a short duration, like 90-day OKRs. So that's 1 quarter. Now, when the OKRs have been created for 90 days, and 90 days specifically is about 13 weeks, what we encourage is that every team manager should be reviewing with his team on a weekly basis. So we call that check-ins. So having a check-in on a weekly basis helps the manager and helps the team also to understand where are we, in like something that had to be done by the end of the quarter. Where are we on in that 13th week period? Something had to happen in month one, in month two, in month three. Where are we on that? So obviously the things that are due first, but the things that are due later on, even those OKRs are getting tracked. The activities are getting tracked. And just not getting tracked as to where are we, but also if there is some kind of obstacle that is coming in the way, then what kind of help is needed? What kind of support can be provided to the team member? That is the real time feedback support that makes OKR such a beautiful process, because this is almost like continuous performance management. I was on another podcast webinar yesterday, and we were talking about continuous performance management. So OKR actually helps us do continuous performance, because it's like week to week. When you are connecting with your employees every week, you're also helping them, not just give them an opportunity to come up with whatever challenges they're facing. There is opportunity for mentoring, for coaching, for development, for problem solving, and not just one on one. You can also do it in a team. So everybody is learning, and everybody is actually in a team. That teamwork spirit also comes up, and the tracking becomes very easy when you do it consistently. So ensuring that you have these frequent check-ins makes it very easy to track. Because if you're going to track after 3 months or after 12 months when you do your appraisal, you have lost it, because the time that you wanted to get it done is already gone by. But if there are things which, let's say, a team member is unable to do, so instead of waiting for his performance appraisal to tell him that you're not doing, you're not really there where you should have been, just let's see, a weekly review actually makes it so much productive. Not just that discussion, but also that you're helping your team member do a better job. And next week they know that we will get reviewed again. So they're already on it. They're already working on the suggestion and working on the inputs that you have given to them as a manager. And they come back next week with probably, improved inputs. Yeah.
Wonderful. I think after the tracking the results, I think the next that comes to continuous improvement. You can say continuous feedback. And so, how do you see in your organization? How do you work on this continuous improvement after the tracking?
So we have certain tools that we follow certain tools that they know there'll be KRS software where they put in everybody's KRS, and individuals will enter their percentage, like how much they have achieved their KRAs and OKRs. And then a clear goal setting will be there, like how much the smart criteria will be given. And in that way, they'll be we actually have a software where it has been tracked. Okay, so through that, each individual gives their inputs, and then it goes to the manager. He evaluates, and then again it goes to the no, it's like hierarchy. It follows the hierarchy, and finally it's been like whether the whole thing the whole OKR has been achieved by that individual or not. It will be showed in the system itself, like the calculation. The software has been done like that. So automatically the calculation comes, and then we sit with our individual discussions will happen, and individual any falls and any fallbacks are there. We'll be working on it, and we'll encourage our people how to achieve their OKRs and all. So this is all. This is what we are doing here in this in my organization.
Saloni, when we look at the challenges part, so generally, what do you see the challenges when we talk about the OKRs?
Yeah, firstly, the challenges which I have faced is that if it is a mindset shift, how traditional organizations, how traditional performance management is happening. And if they want to now move away from that and get into OKRs, it is a mindset shift. And sometimes that becomes difficult. So most organizations where OKRs have been adopted, it has always started at the top. The top wanted that we need to have an agile system, a system that gives us real time, insight into where are we on our goals and how much have we, achieved. And are we really going to make it, this quarter will be where we want to see it. So, if we don't have an agile system, if we don't have technology to support it, for example, that Hima said, technology is very helpful. But if we don't have technology, it becomes very laborious. Now, if we have technology, then immediately, even though the punch in of data, the performance data, everybody is entering their own, and we can see it on the on the tool. What we can also see from the tool is, in some cases, depends on which tool we are using, which are the ones in which very little work has happened because it's color coded. Which are those where it's green, which means good work percentage has been achieved, and which are the ones where some work has happened, and therefore the color coding accordingly will come up. So having a tool, definitely technology tool definitely is helpful. The other challenge could also be that it takes a lot of effort in the beginning. A lot of effort because we are moving away from something which we have not done before. So even understanding, and that is why rightly, like Hima said, that the awareness, the sensitization, that
Yeah.
we're going to shift from this way of working to now this way of working, and there is a benefit in working the new way. So the challenges are actually in alignment. The challenges are also sometimes in defining uh, what is our aspiration. The challenges also is that it cannot always be top down, because if it is only top down, then it becomes the traditional way of doing work. Everything's coming from the top. But OKRs gives you a framework where the people, at various levels also are free to look at and give their inputs as to how. It's like, this is what we want to do. Now tell us, how will you do it? So the how part has actually been given to them to say, okay, come back and tell us that if this is the objective and this is what the key results we want, how are you going to make it happen? So, many organizations where people have been so used to being told all the time, they somewhere, have lost their thinking skills. So it becomes very difficult in such situations also.
Yeah, I would like to add a point here. The perceiveness, ma'am, the perceiveness of OKR, that's a big challenge. Not everybody takes it in 100%, happily they won't take it. Are now till now it's like this, and it's the switching the gear, it's like very difficult for people. That's the main challenge we have seen. So when we give the training for OKRs, there's a lot of questions and a lot of what do you say, why we should do this, why we should not do that. So this kind of questions and this kind of resistance of, okay, that's the main challenge. And that too, that middle level, mainly they used to do, and low, and the say like the lower level employees or the upper, the top level employees, they understand well, and it's easy to convince them what is OKR and how to follow it. But then the main challenge with the middle level people, where they're like, they say like we are there in the company from 5 years and 6 years. All that questions would come. So that's the
See,
main challenge.
this layer
And
is
because
very,
it takes a lot of effort in beginning, so leadership
Exactly.
buy-in, that is also very important. So
yeah,
they
yeah.
they need to they need to be very firm on this, that how to start the goals and how to track the goals. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Actually,
So
actually, any change initiative requires a very strong middle management because the strategy is set at the top. The execution is happening at mostly at the ground level. But the enabling part is done by the middle management. They are managing the day-to-day fires, the questions, let's say the failures, anything that is happening. It's the middle layer. They are responsible and accountable to the top, and they have to manage the people at the next level also. So this layer is very important, and they do have a very important role to play because the execution of the strategy and to get it done from the team below, they have to first understand and be comfortable, and that's why their inputs are important. So when you are doing it manually, any manual change is a pain, but when you use technology, there is ease of use, and it definitely is helpful. And to answer the question as to why we should be able to tell them the benefits, should be able to tell them the ease of getting things done, and then being very focused on what is most important, because that is what OKRs are all about. You will have your business as usual activities, but what is most important is those aspirational OKRs that is going to help the business go to their next level. And sometimes in the 20-80 ratio, the 80% is basically your business as usual, but the 20% of what you will help the organization grow or go to their next, avatar.
Any of your final comments, Hima?
Yeah. So finally, the thing is like we have to align an OKRs with the company strategy and have clear and ambitious objectives, and there should be clear, measurable, and specific key results should be trained to the people. And see, the training always helps any organization to achieve their goals and also motivate their employees to have proper OKRs and follow them. So the transparency is very important, as we also spoke about that, and the collaboration between the teams and the people. All this is very important, and regular check-ins and regular reviews and regular meetings on OKRs and the status of the work. Everything actually matters to OKR. So to achieve the goals, the involvement of each and every individual is important in the organization. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. The transparency, the leadership buy-in, the alignment, these are the things are very important when we talk about the leadership OKR. So thank you so much, Saloni, for joining the conversation, and Hima for joining the panel discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much. Thanks for calling. It's our pleasure. Thank you.